now tuned into the.
I think what you need to do, man, is continue doing what you're doing to build up more capital, so that way you're not freaking out and pinching pennies over here. Because ultimately,
oh no, I know.
Yeah, because ultimately, like,
It'll
you don't want to have to go back and fix it. You want to be able to, set it up right and set it up for the future. And like, I hate to say it, but like, the only missing link to your problem here is capital. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, let's be honest, bro. That's it. Like,
I'm thinking like ballpark $120, I think, to get it started.
$120,000? Get the fuck out of here. What do you? No, what is this? A Michelin star restaurant, bro? Get the fuck out of here, dog. Get out of here.
It's gonna be.
You're talking about one dish, KC.
120 to get it
one dish with 15 seats, bro. Have you seen how they operate in Japan, bro? They got like a stall.
Yeah, no, I know.
Bro, you get some of the best ramen in the world. You're overthinking it, man. Yo, my guy, you're overthinking it, bro.
What you gotta get, especially in Jersey, you gotta get a place that you can work out of while you're doing construction. That way you can get a deal where you don't have to pay rent for like a couple months, because the landlord, you're like, yo, I gotta do construction and shit.
Yeah.
So you gotta give me like 3-4 months to get up and running, but you can still sell in that time. So you start making profit. But I think, at 120, you're talking about opening up like a full shirt, like all painted on the walls, fucking everything open going.
You're like, listen, you need to be at Target range, not Gucci range, bro.
Like, dude, you need your shop.
Essentially,
your shop
like
needs
40
to open
grand.
up. Like when they do the health inspection, you need to just like barely pass. That's how you open up, and then like you go from there.
Yeah, but look,
I have a phone call next week.
There's one missing link to this. And the problem is he's only open one or 2 days a week. And the thing is you're so close-minded in scaling that you don't want to scale. And like right now is the time. Like if I were you, I would negotiate to try to sell ramen in addition to what you're selling, throughout the week when you're working. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's worth it. If it's worth it to you, you'll do it. But like selling, ramen 1 day a week is just not going to get you where you want to be. So right now you're just dreaming. You're just dreaming. That's cool to dream. But a dream is nothing. A goal, look, a dream is nothing but a dream. It's all about execution. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I truly believe. But anyway, let's put a cap on that. Let's get a little information from our guest. So, do you have an intro, Casey, or no?
No, you're good. I mean, this is our homie Carlos. Carlos is the other salty version. So like, he's literally as salty as I am.
Well, dude, you know what?
He just doesn't want to go full throttle.
I want to get into some saltiness, but look, Carlos, give us a little 3-minute summary about yourself. If like our listeners have never met you before, that would be wonderful.
I mean, man, I work in the restaurant industry. Like, my story is the same as anybody else's that's been in the game for so long. I started off as dish. I'm from New York. I currently live in Washington, and
Washington D.C.
No, Washington State.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So, I worked everywhere from like mom and pop shops. I worked at fucking dive bars. The last place I worked for the Make It Nice group was the last place I worked at in New York. So I was there when like EMP won like best restaurant. And man, I just, I got to an age where I just needed to get out of fine dining. Like it just wasn't for me anymore. I got like the 200-300 cover nights, man. It's not in me anymore.
Dang.
I love the rush of it, but it's just not in there. And, right now, man, I'm just trying to find my place in like the culinary world after COVID. I think that I'm kind of done with executive chef business, and I just want to like get to the next level, something different.
Yeah.
I love cooking, and I'm trying to get myself more out there to like do social media and shit like that. I've never been a big like camera person. So, I'm just trying to get there, trying to find where I'm going to go next with these last 15 years of fucking restaurant shit that I've had to deal with.
Yeah. I think you and 90% of the chefs out there at our level are all thinking the same thing. Right.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. Like, just in the last 2 years, I've been able to build my brand because I've went all in on my fucking self, because here we go. Here I am, 35 years old. COVID hits. And listen, all that hard work I put in for all these other chefs running their restaurants, doing their visions, guess what I got from it? Absolutely nothing. And then I realized, like, you know what? I need to do something for myself and for my family. And I'll be honest, I try to encourage other chefs like you and myself and, Casey, to just post content, just post it, because the reality is I would argue that you could make more being a content creator than a chef at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
I agree. Yeah. Guaranteed. I mean, I think I think I'm stuck like anybody else, man. Like I'm stuck in this mentality of like if I want to post something, I want it to be perfect. But it's
Yeah.
not about being perfect. It's
So
just
so
about
think
it's about volume.
Yeah, think about it being more like you're just documenting. Look, come on.
Yeah.
You want to talk about perfect? Look at KC. KC is motherfucking. He is a cinematographer. Okay, he's made some beautiful videos. My man uses the trap phone to make TikTok videos. Okay,
Hell yeah.
like, but here's the thing. Like, and I will also play devil's avocado here. Some of my most viral videos were from my iPhone. You know what I'm saying? It's more about
Yeah.
the story. And in
Yeah.
all honesty, I think it's good, man. I think the biggest thing though is because I'm really an advocate for chefs creating their own personal brands that doesn't have to be attached to a restaurant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can hop on YouTube and make your own shit. Yeah, it's gonna take some time. It takes effort. Like I mean, the minimum I would recommend to post a day is one time a day. The thing is what you have to hold on to is
Yeah.
that you could post one TikTok and it'll change your life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you post one TikTok and it could be mega viral or whatever. But like I think that's really important. So like, I don't know, Casey, you want to touch on that?
I mean, my viral thing is my little black garlic. I had no idea. I was just kind of doing my thing and then just kind of took off. But I mean, when I was talking to Brandon, he was just like, "Yo, homie, reply to fucking everybody." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
He goes by video. I'm like, "I got this."
Yeah.
And then from there, it just kind of went off. But I always have this thing where I'm petty, and I wanted to really kind of knack on that as my not niche, but like it's me personally. Like that's just me, and I think people kind of understand that. And then after that, now it's just like I'm just writing it literally
Yeah.
since
Yeah.
it first began. So
Yeah, I think the funniest thing about Casey is, man, he actually takes the time to like dig into the
I
pettiness.
really do.
But the
Oh,
thing
yeah.
is what people don't know is they kind of don't stand a chance because see, Casey
Yeah.
has put in the work and nobody's
Right.
going to hurt his feelings. You're not going to hurt his feelings
Right.
because he's a fucking adult and he's a grown up. And listen, I don't care what anybody says, but like, when you're a chef, man, it's really difficult to, like talk shit to us and get a response. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is, dude.
Oh,
Dude,
I
like,
mean, the shit we talk about in the kitchens, dude, is like most people, like, honestly, like, if somebody from Ocean, like, if you're sensitive, when I do my interviews, it's like, dude, if you're sensitive, you don't want to work here.
yeah,
Because
Yeah,
even like our light stuff that we talk about is pretty extreme for some people.
straight up.
So
Are you, Carlos? Are you working now, or are you just? Are you?
yeah, man. So right now I'm working in corporate. So I'm the executive chef of a private golf course here in Washington.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's like one of the biggest golf courses in Washington State.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful course, man. It's just kind of dealing. I was talking to Casey about it and the other guys. It's kind of dealing with like zero organization from like a management standpoint, which makes my job super hard. My GM right now is from Cali, so he's a wine guy. So he wants to have like a Napa Valley feel to this, and I'm just like, dude, you're in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
These guys don't understand that shit. Like,
Yeah.
that guys, you get them some wine from Cali, and they're gonna look at you like, the fuck is this, man? I want some Washington wine, and you're like,
and
you don't know that.
You know what, man? It's so funny you say that because then like the perspective of you is you're like kind of set in your ways, and it's like I know you don't want to be like that, but at the same time, you know what's gonna work. How long have you been there?
2 years actually now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's a fun gig. It's been an upward battle, dude. Like when I got there, these you're talking about country club that was stuck in '95.
Yeah.
They were selling what is it, prime rib Fridays for like $15 a person.
of course.
They were
Why
doing
not?
pasta. They were doing like all you can eat pasta nights on Tuesdays. And dude, when I got there, 78% food costs.
78.
Yep.
You didn't tell me this.
78% food
Holy
costs.
shit.
Yeah, dude. So it's
Wait,
been an upward battle since then. It was one of those things where like, the customer's always right.
Was there a chef
So-
there before or no?
It was, but it was the mentality that like chefs went there to retire. So the guy that was there like 6 years ago had been there for 25. And the other guys that came in, there's a guy that came in that was like a gastronomy chef, and that was just two extremes. Like you're talking about pot roast and mashed potatoes and fucking gastronomy. Like these guys weren't ready for that. And then a couple other guys got there. They were corporate chefs for years and years, And, you know, I came in, I'm a young dude. Like I'm 34 this year. So I came in with the mentality like, all right, man, we got to take baby steps.
Yeah.
And when I talked to the GM, I was like, listen, I get your vision. Uh, what's the time frame? He was like, oh, I can do this in a year. I was like, no, you can't. No, you
Nah.
can't. Like, you're talking about 5-6 years of like gradual change to get this where you want to go. Um, and I've just been battling that, man. I've just been battling the membership,
Yeah.
battling like the ideas of two
Well,
different people who have a vision.
yeah, that's the biggest problem because with private clubs like that, they're not really going for profit in the food and beverage area. It's pretty much just an amenity. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
right,
it's like, where they make
right.
their money is not in food and beverage. It's kind of like just
Dude,
you know what I'm saying? Because let's be honest, man, 78% food costs and you'll be shut down anywhere else. But like, I totally get it because it's a private club. But it's
yeah,
like, it's kind of like what I'm dealing with, where I work, we're not going for profit, man. So it's like, sometimes it's fucking ridiculous. But at the same
yeah,
time, it's like, you just have to take the good with the bad, man. I'm sure you're getting a fat salary. So it's like, you have to like weigh the pros and cons. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's like,
It's. I mean, the salary is pretty decent. I'm actually hit my year 2, so I'm looking to like renegotiate. I took the
Mhm.
job because it was like 2020, middle of pandemic, and nobody was hiring.
yeah.
So the salary was
Oh, okay.
Ah.
decent, and I was like, "Yo, let me get in here before like I get fucked over." And like I
Yeah.
really got to take a shitty job that I don't want. And like I said before, like I was kind of done with mom and pop restaurants. Corporate has its positives, like the pay is beautiful.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You can do a lot with corporate kitchens.
Yeah.
Like you could have a lot of fun when it comes to like spending a little bit more and things like that. Um, and like I said, I'm from New York, man. Like I come from a time where like you had line cooks that were better than sous chefs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all these things. And in Washington State, it's hard to find that competition. It's hard to find that talent. Like I got guys who want to get paid $24 an hour who don't know how to make a crostini. You know what I
Oh
mean?
shit.
Yeah. So it makes my job harder and harder. And I think that's where kind of my crossroads is right now, where like, dude, I don't want to put in 16 hours in a restaurant anymore.
Yeah.
Like 18
Yeah.
Yeah.
hours and shit like that.
That
Like I
shit
don't
is
want to
over,
do
man.
it. It's not worth it anymore. Especially at our age. I got I got 2 kids.
Yeah.
Um
What ages?
and 3.5 and 9 months.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Yeah,
That's
so
amazing. Mine is
right.
6 and 3.
That's awesome. In
Yeah.
case you got a cat.
No kids.
Yeah.
I got a cat.
Okay. Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's okay.
Yeah, man. But Brandon, you work in Silicon Valley, right? You
Yeah. Yeah. So I work for a tech company here in Silicon Valley that has, over 50 billion in assets. And it was a really cool gig to start. Like it was absolutely fucking amazing. Like, when I started, I was, pretty much what they wanted was they wanted a Michelin trained chef to come in and do total, like they wanted to build a restaurant in this facility pretty much. And so I did. I bought everything that I could think of imaginable, like blank check, set it up. And then every single day I'm doing like tasting menus, fucking, it was absolutely crazy. And it was draining.
Wow.
Don't get me wrong. I was working
Yeah.
a lot of hours, but then where my issue is after the pandemic, right? Basically what happened was they just kept all the key people, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then from there, they're like, okay, fuck California. This is ridiculous. Totally picked up the whole company and moved overseas. Right. So like now it's kind of
Oh.
like, I can't complain because my schedule is really cush, but man, I am just so not fulfilled anymore. You know what I mean? Like zero fulfillment. So yeah, I'm working on that aspect. But like the biggest thing that I don't like is I have to keep, obviously this industry is very discreet. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you don't ever see anybody posting in Google or posting in Facebook. Like, you know what I'm saying? The shit is locked down like crazy. So I can't
Yeah.
actually show what I'm actually doing at work. And that really frustrates me sometimes because sometimes I do some really cool stuff. And sometimes I get to meet a lot of really cool people, like really, really cool people. And, unfortunately,
But you're
it's
not
just
allowed
like,
to.
no, man, I had one video go viral. It was about an omelet and it was at work. I plated it at work and somebody recognized the plate and I almost got fired. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like the Secret Service, man. It's crazy. It's like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. But I'm not gonna lie, it's a very good job. I get paid very well. I've been there almost 4 years now,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna lie, I'm working on something big behind the scenes, big,
Nah,
something
dude, I
truly
seen I
big.
seen your social media blow up. You know, I was actually thinking I think it was one of your lives one day, and I got the idea that you mentioned that just hiring somebody to do my edits because that's the
Yeah,
biggest time and that's like my biggest challenge. So like
yeah,
I think I would just hire somebody I can get like a decent price and just send them raw footage and be like,
yeah,
yo, just make it social media nice, like for me to post it. and just post it up.
If I didn't have my video editors, man, I would not be able to. So basically, the way I do it now is what I'll do is I'll chop up the TikToks and the IG, and then I literally have one person in the Philippines that literally just he fucking edits for me for 5 days a week, 9 to 5. Because I can do a YouTube video, but like it takes me, I've clocked it. It takes me about 8 hours total time. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
And so for me, I cut the check. And then honestly, I'm not going to lie. Like what I do is I just do like 1 or 2 brand deals, and then it X's out that
Even
that
it
cut.
up.
Yeah, it evens it up. And but I'll be honest, man, I like, that's why I want more chefs to post, because brand deals are fucking serious, man. Like you can get a serious bag off of posting a 30-second video. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I was thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, if I was a cook, because cooks, you're not going to make that much. But if you could supplement your income with a couple sponsored posts, because like, dude, there's companies out here, they'll give you $500-$600 for a video. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then you have different levels to this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? You can get to like, because now it's not really about your following. It's about if you're able to work with the company. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. And if you can get to 10K on TikTok, then you got some leverage. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line. All you need to do is get to 10K. You don't need to have like hundreds of thousands of followers. But I think what's really important, and I try to tell this to all chefs, you need to have multiple streams of income. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can't just focus off a W-2 anymore, man. You're not gonna fucking make it. Then you're like stressed. Yeah.
Especially where things are going.
Yeah. It's better. So anybody out there, if you're listening to this, if you're a young cook, if you are a chef, don't do what I did. From age 17 to 27, I worked 6 days a week. I fucking slaved, and it got me far in my career. I mean, shit, I was a sous chef by like 23, 24, but that's because I worked relentlessly. But in all honesty, my 20s were a fucking blur. They literally, it makes me so sad, because there were so many vacations I missed, so many concerts I missed, there was so much sacrifice involved, and it was all for just experience that I would argue is almost not worth it right now. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's
now
not,
that you look back.
For me personally, it's not worth it. Dude, when I was at EMP, like these kids, and a lot of them were still like in the fine dining industry, like Gramercy Tavern, ABC Kitchen, and like working with all these famous chefs. But dude, you walked in there and these kids didn't know how to cook at all. Most of them, from my experience, a lot of them didn't know how to cook. They followed recipes very well. And then I came to my realization where, like, we used to hang out after on the weekends and shit. Like on a Monday, we were closed, and we go to each other's houses and we do these dinner parties as a way to like practice and shit. And these motherfuckers were like cooking the same way they cook in the restaurant, to the point that, like, I'm from the Caribbean. So like I made like some sofrito and some stewed chicken and this and that. And these kids had the audacity to look at me and be like, "Hey man, you need more acid in that rice." And I'm like, "Man, my grandmother taught me how to make this. You crazy? Like, get out of here. It doesn't need more acid." Funny. But they had that restaurant palate, and that's all they knew. And after that, I kind of took a good look at where I was working, and I was like, man, these guys know how to follow recipes. They don't know how to create. And I found that the small mom and pop restaurants and the small hole in the walls, where like creativity really thrive. That's when you learn like cooking from like generations and generations, aside from like all this new shit that people are like trying to make up,
Yeah. So I think that's really important, man. It's funny because every time I post a video, like I'll only post a recipe if it gets enough views, man. I'm not even wasting time anymore, right? Yeah. But the thing is what I want to encourage, what I encourage people to do is just to try to create. Don't worry about a fucking recipe all the time. Now, if you're baking bread, it's a different story. But to anybody out there, if you are cooking at your house, you don't need to use tablespoon this, half a cup this, man. Fuck all that, dude. I barely measure on a good day, like. I'm not gonna lie, like
it's because you have experience, though.
Dude, I make banana bread so much I don't even have to measure, bro. I make banana bread so fucking much I don't even have to measure.
I don't even think it's about experience too. I think it's just about having the courage to try. I feel like with social media, what I found is that so many people are so fearful of being judged negatively by somebody for something that they make that it's like, dude, like when I make something, like if I look up a recipe online and I want to make it at home, I follow like the guidelines of ingredients and things like that, but I make it to my flavor. Yep. And I think a lot of people have that fear to make something and have someone not like it.
Sure.
And for us who've been in the restaurant industry, when you create your menus, you know, when we all became chefs and we created our first menu in our first restaurant, we put it out, dude, we had that fear of like, shit, what if this doesn't sell? Or what if somebody doesn't
You
like
know
it?
what? You know what? That's a great point. And what you know what I tell everybody is you want to fail. Like you want to put up a dish that's not good or up subpar because it's only a learning lesson. Trust me.
Yeah.
There's times where I've executed a whole tasting menu and I remember you know, like thinking like, man, this course sucks, man. Like I really don't like this course. And it'll be their favorite course. You know what I'm saying? I made this savory oatmeal once and dude, honestly, in my head, it sounded so good. And it was delicious. It was delicious, but it looked like a pile of shit. So I made an oatmeal risotto and I used dashi, I used a poached egg, I used it was crispy kale, and then I had confit, some kind of meat on there. It was I used the duck egg, so it was a confit duck egg. No, it was a 64-degree duck egg, crispy duck confit, crispy kale, and you know, garlic chips, onion chips. And when I explained the dish, the vision was solid. But I'm telling you right now, when I looked at it, I'm like, God, this looks like a pile of shit, dude. Like fuck. And let me tell you something. It was their most favorite dish, but I was shaking.
But did it taste good?
Yeah, it tasted
That's all that
amazing.
mattered.
It was savory. It was like a savory oatmeal, but the texture of the steel oats just like kind of it sets it apart because it was like hearty, and everybody's used to eating oats for breakfast. And so and it was funny because after the dinner, I remember going around like, hey, what did you guys enjoy the most? And I was thinking, you know, it'd be the A5 Wagyu or the spot prawn. And they were like, no, you know what?
Nope.
The dish was amazing. Was the oatmeal dish. And they were like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, I mean, I made a really good dashi stock. It was really good. It was really good savory broth, and that dish still sticks with me to this day. But it's funny because like I was ready for complete failure, right? Like I was ready to take it in the chin. Dude, I've created so many dishes and like, trust me, man, I know. And when I was a young sous chef and I was hungry, like, dude, I used to wear my emotions on my sleeve. But like, I will be honest, like, I think once you grow up a little bit, you realize it's just part of the business. You know, not everybody's going to like your food. Not everybody's going to like you. It's just the way it is, man. I remember having somebody at when I worked at Hotel Bel Air, you know, come in the kitchen, this old lady, and she's like, my housekeeper makes a better Caesar than this shit. That's exactly what she said. And I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Nice.
Let's go, grandma. And it's funny because like, you know, I was trying not to laugh. And then everybody was like, oh my God. You know, she was a VIP. But then it was funny because the manager came to me and he was like, chef, what are we going to do about the Caesar salad? Do we need to change the dressing? Do we need to change the lettuce? And I'm like, hey man, go to the micros and print out how many Caesars we sold today. And it was crazy. It was probably like 130 for the whole day, right? For lunch and dinner. And I was like, how many complaints did we get on the Caesar salad? Ask everybody. Okay. And he's like, well, it looks like just one. I'm like, okay, so you want to change the formula that we had for the Caesar for one complaint. And then he's like, damn, he's like, you know what? I didn't think about it like that. I'm like, okay, so listen, times 5. What is that? That's 600 Caesars a motherfucking week. I'm like, dude, I get one complaint. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
I've already took out the anchovies, okay, and I'm not happy about it. But like, I remember because when you're like, and this is what chefs need to realize, like, when you're like, dude, I worked for this chef that only fried in peanut oil, and it was crazy, man, because like
gross.
No, listen, I get it. Like,
expensive.
It's very expensive. It's $40 a freaking. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
And honestly, for some things, I agree. But like, dude, in a hotel environment, when you have so many fucking nut allergies and banquets like that, you know, have nut allergies, and you have to give them a disclosure that we fry in peanut oil. And I'll tell you what, man, I remove that scenario. Right, I got the fucking, you know, the canola fry shit. Right, like like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like dirty fryer oil. So I would much rather buy the $13 one and throw it out at the end of the night, right? And then start fresh the next day.
Almost like daily.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, because it's just more efficient. But dude, going and straining the fucking, and then it was funny because I remember him. I removed this allergy from the menu, and it was funny because we had literally set up an extra fryer for regular food, right? Like for people that had nut allergies. Sorry. Stupid, right? A whole nother fryer layer. And so I think what I'm trying to get at is like, I think chefs get so ego driven where they don't realize like the detriment that you have on cooks with a good thing is like a good example is like I removed the reason why I was saying I took the anchovy out is because we always had no anchovy, no anchovy, no anchovy. And so it was in the dressing. So we would have to sub the dressing. So I'm like, fuck it, take it out of the dressing and we'll garnish it on top. So that way if they say no anchovy, we just don't garnish. And it was funny because it was like a fight, but it ended up working. And I remember the cooks on the station would have to make a separate Caesar dressing with no anchovy. And I'm like, nah, bro.
No, that's
I'm
crazy.
Like, yeah.
I mean, it reminds me that, so it's funny because one of my my second or third executive chef job, I got fired. It was a hotel because it was the middle of a lunch rush, and the restaurant manager came up to me and says, "Hey, do we use peanut oil?" And I was like, "No, dude, it's just canola." And then he put in a ticket. I remember it was a grilled cheese, and at the time we used to put nuts in the pesto because we used to sell grilled cheese and tomato soup with a basil pesto. And it so happened that the kid that soup went to had a nut allergy, which wasn't on the ticket.
Wow.
And then the only thing, dude, we're lucky because the hotel was like right across the street from a hospital. So they didn't have an EpiPen. They got him in the hospital. The kid was fine. And the GM was asking me, and her thing is like, hey, when he asked you if you use peanut oil, your next question should have been, hey, are there any other allergies? Because they're asking for a reason. But I was like in the middle of a lunch rush, and I was like, dude, but that's like a table side thing. Yeah. So after that day, I make pestos with no nuts.
Yeah, so you make a peas stew.
Yeah, I just make peas stew, and I eliminate that shit as best I fucking can from my menu, just not to deal with it, because there's sometimes where people won't tell you. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yo, can we talk about this? Yo, my chef right now likes to add nuts to everything. Our vinaigrettes are fucking salt, literally nuts to everything. And then obviously, I can assure you tomorrow I'm gonna have like 4 people with nut allergies, and we can't fucking serve them any of the fixins. And he's gonna flip. He's gonna be like, can't fucking do it. Blah blah. Go to another restaurant. I'm like, bro, just omit the fucking nut.
Yeah,
we don't need it.
Dude,
like, you really don't. It's fine.
Can I tell you something?
That way everybody's happy.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm totally with you. And like, listen, I used to be the chef that when I would create a dish, I'd be like, no, we're not removing anything. And like, I hate that for myself. Yeah, it's perfect. This is how I wanted it. But like, in all honesty, what I realized is that just ruins their experience. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie. You also got some phonies, right? You got some people saying, hey, I'm vegan. Oh, but I'm going to eat this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm vegan. I'm vegetarian. Oh, I'm gluten-free. I'm dairy-free. And honestly, they're really not. And you know what? That's okay. I feel like the thing is nowadays with so many people being adverse to so many things, it's trained me to be much more diligent and better with communication. You know what I'm saying? Like the bottom line. And I'll be honest, I'm with you, Casey, on that. I will fucking remove nuts real quick. Like, there's 100%. on banquet menus, but I think the bigger thing for me is gluten. I've tried to like, I'm real with them too, man. I'm real. I'm straight up. Like, if you want me to bake bread with no gluten, you better get the fuck away from me. Like, I will make you a quick bread with gluten-free flour, but you're not getting sourdough. Like be realistic. You know, like if they're like, especially with like, I've had so many people like, oh, I can't have this, I can't have that. And I'm just like, yeah, no problem. We'll make it happen. It's not a problem, because they feel better when you've taken care of them, And trust me, I've had some weird dietary restrictions, especially in the last year and a half. But, for me, it's part of the game now. It really is, man. You got people that just, it's crazy. Because like what you have to do, you have to create a separate dish for them. Like, that's not even on the menu. You know what I mean? And most of the time it's like, it's aggravating, but at the same time, I think it's our job to go above and beyond. And that's part of the hospitality,
Of course. I mean, and those special requests always come in. But I bet you they always come in at the worst time too.
Did you get fired for the nuts though? That's what you got fired for?
Yeah. So she made, they were friends. Like she let me go because it was, the incident happened because of me. So I should have asked more questions in the moment and things like that. And, I think that, I was already at an age where I was just like, cool. I mean, I'm glad the kid was okay.
Sure.
But
that was the only reason. It was because of that.
That was the only reason.
What?
It was,
dude,
she felt that it just solely fell on me, and I was just like, I was like, all right, man.
Was this HR or was this?
No, that was the GM of the hotel. So it was. I was like the new guy. I was also
What hotel was this?
It was in Hotel Sorrento in Washington. up in
Okay.
Seattle. It was my first. It was like my first job in Washington after I had moved from New York. So I still had that fucking attitude on me.
Of
Like,
course.
just
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I was like, fuck you, I'll get another job, whatever, blah blah. And you know, after I think that kind of changed my mentality too when it came to a lot of things. Like,
Yeah.
it was one of those breaking points for me where when I was a younger cook in like my mid 20s, I no longer got bothered. Like, I don't give a shit if you want your steak well done.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll
Yeah.
just put it in the oven for 7 more minutes. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know,
Me
like
too.
I still work with cooks that are like, "Oh, you want your shit super dry?" I was like, "Why are you getting mad? It's not
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
If they want
Exactly.
to pay
Yeah.
$50 for a dry ribeye, that's on them.
Why the fuck
Just
not? Exactly.
you
Yeah.
know." And also, there's another thing too. Like, there's the right way of making a well done steak. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I worked with cooks in the past where like you took that steak, oh, we'll chuck it in the fryer, and like they would disrespect the food because they didn't believe it was the best way to do it. And
Yeah.
I'm to the point now where like, dude, if we base our steaks, you're gonna sear it both sides, you're gonna base it, you're gonna throw it in the oven, you're gonna let it rest, and you're gonna slice it afterwards.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
So, little food
Mhm.
for thought. When I worked for Wolfgang Puck, right, in Los Angeles, their number one, I was looking at the finances for their number one in Doha. They have a steakhouse in Doha. It's called Cut Steak, and this is the number one most. They sell the most Wagyu at this restaurant worldwide. And guess
Okay.
what? 95% of the Wagyu is well done. 95%. Okay.
Shit.
90, not like, no, like, hey, no, not medium well, not medium.
Wow.
Well done.
Well
No
done.
red. No red. And they fucking love it. They order it by the pounds, dude. And it's crazy because like we had this conversation of like, it's like, what are you willing, like as a chef, like, what are you willing to sacrifice? And like the executive chef over there was like, man, I'm just tired of cooking well done steaks, man. Like I'm just over it, man. It's like horrible. I get this
Yeah.
beautiful steak in, and then when you cook it, and I'm just like, yeah, but like that's your clientele. Like,
Yeah.
these Middle Eastern people, they don't fuck around, bro. They don't want no goddamn
Mhm.
rare steak. Like for me, I will eat it raw, dog. I love Wagyu. I love Wagyu either raw or barely cooked. But it's just
Mhm.
funny because its perception is reality.
Yeah.
You have these people that have deep ass pockets, and it's like you're going to tell them no, that you don't have a say in how other people want to eat their food. You know what I mean? Bottom line.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I wanted to ask you something, Carlos, because this is really important. This was a changing point in my career. So how did your leadership style change when you had children?
Sorry, my kids are screaming in the background, but
That's okay.
I
Don't worry.
think it was about patience for me.
Yeah.
And I kind of got into the realization where like my job is to create food and babysit at the same time. Um,
Yeah.
I was able to get more patient. I no longer got upset when like I had to explain things in like a dumbed down way to
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where like I even sort of changed the style of my recipes to read off like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's funny that I actually found more success because I can give a recipe to someone who's been in the game for a year and they can follow it to the T. And I just started like, I got rid of like some of the French terms in my recipes and things like that. And I was like,
Mhm.
small dice,
Yeah.
really small dice.
Hey, you know
Yeah.
what's so
And
funny? I've changed that as well. No French shit in my, like, I respect French
Yeah.
but it
yeah,
just confuses the fuck out of people,
yeah,
Mhm.
100%.
especially Americanos. Like we are all confused. And it's funny because that is like, same thing on my menu. I don't call anything French. I don't do it. I call it what it is. But yeah, that's great tip, man. I told Casey this before and I'll tell everybody else, but like when I had my first child, it completely changed my leadership style. And the way the analogy. Hold on, let me close my garage door, man, for somebody
No, you
fucking
good. You good.
sneaks up on me, bro. Shit.
Somebody
Wait, no,
murders
it was like
them.
a scary
Yeah, hold on.
movie.
Yeah, hey,
It was
Bro,
like a
hey,
scary movie. He looked back. I was like, oh shit.
well, it was really funny. But anyway, back to the kids. I try to tell everybody this. Like, once I started treating people like my children, like it made a huge difference. And here's a good example. You would never fire your child. You would do whatever it takes to build them up and mentor them at any length. And you would ultimately provide the most value you can to them to help them succeed. And I think that is really important to note, because I've had a lot of success with other with chefs that have worked under me. And what I realize is, like, I provide them more value than they provide me, because ultimately I work for them, they don't work for me, is my mentality. And I have gotten like, it's night and day the feedback I got. When I came out of Alinea, like, bro, I was literally a fucking maniac, absolute maniac. And it's crazy because I went from Chicago to Las Vegas, and I went into an environment that was just not accustomed to that 3 Michelin star, lifestyle. And, and I was just on fire, man. And what I realized is, like, it didn't get me anywhere. I was working by myself. Like I would kick people off stations. It was ridiculous. I was an absolute fucking ego driven maniac, man. It was crazy, but it
But you
ended
were
up
also
teaching me a good
young,
lesson.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm also part of like kind of the new generation. Like, dude, I don't yell in my kitchen. I don't throw plates. I
Yeah.
don't do pans.
Yeah.
I respect my staff. And they,
Yes.
they work their asses off for me,
Yeah.
and I'm one of those guys too, man. Like I'm not I have my office days, but if I can be out there on the line grinding, I'll do it,
Of
Yeah.
course.
because
Yeah.
it's what I love to do.
Did
You know what I mean?
did it take you some time to build up your staff?
I'm still currently building my staff, dude. Hiring has been a nightmare
Yeah.
lately.
Is it because of your location, or is it because of just the talent?
I think it's location, being that it's a private company.
Yeah.
Um, the hourly rate has been a challenge. So everyone around us is growing and paying more, and we have to go by our corporate standards. So like before I can
Mm.
offer X amount of money, I have to like go through corporate. My GM has to ask his VP and vice versa. Um, so we finally got the pay up to about $22 an hour. We don't tip the cooks. It's a company standard. They don't tip the cooks. So it makes it
Mm.
more challenging. Dude, I got Wingstop down the block that's paying $22 plus tip for a line cook. Can't compete
Wow.
with that. I can't compete with that.
Yeah.
Um,
So what kind of benefits are you offering?
I don't offer any benefits, dude. Any benefits.
Shit.
It's one of those corporate jobs,
God,
like
how the fuck?
benefits. Exactly. So
Wow.
I have
So
my core people that I'm treating good, and getting them raises as we
yeah.
increase our pay so they can stay. Uh, but also about me, dude, like when I hire people, I I rather hire someone who has the drive and the want to, and like that fucking go-getter attitude, than someone who's had 10, 15 years of experience, because I
Yeah.
already
I
know what
agree.
that it comes with. So much baggage. Um,
Yeah.
it comes with, I've done this before. Like every time, like if I'm trying to explain a recipe to you, and you cut me off and you're like, "Oh, I've done that before." No, you fucking haven't. You
Yeah.
may have done it
Mm.
for like other chefs, but
Yeah.
I've done pesto 22 different ways in my career.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I've
Yeah.
done different vinegars, different wines, different oils. You know what I mean? Like, dude, just let me explain to you the way that I want it done, and let's just go
Yep.
from there. But a new person
Yeah.
won't argue with you. They'll just sit there and listen to you. They'll say yes. They'll do it. Um,
Mm.
they'll make their mistakes, and we correct them as we go. You know?
Yeah. That's a
Wow.
great point. I think, like, in all honesty, I have some things behind the scenes that I'm working on, and my one fear is staff.
Yeah.
Because I know
Nah,
how
you'll be
difficult
fine.
it is right now. And I know that, so many chefs in San Francisco have been asking me, "Hey, do you have any cooks? Is there any sous chefs?" And I'm like, "No, bitch. They're all working for DoorDash and Uber Eats. You know why?
Yeah.
Because they're making way more money and they get the schedule they want. Bottom
Yeah.
line." So, in all honesty, if I were you, Carlos, I would go to your corporate and I would say, "Hey, listen, I have no legs to stand on. These are the staff I need. I
Yeah.
need to run this operation. Here is our comp set, right? Because you're on corporate.
Yeah.
Wingstop down the street is paying X amount of dollars with tips.
Yeah.
And benefits. This is their package. This is their package." And then I would say, and listen, you know what? You know what I think would be, you know what I think would really work is that 4-day work week with 3 days off.
I love it.
So yeah, so Europe just started implementing this for restaurants, where they do a 10-hour workday for the
Yeah.
fine dining
Mm.
restaurants. And well, hold on, let me ask you, what does your operation breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
No, so we do breakfast, we do lunch and dinner. Right now for the summertime, 6 days a week. During the fall and winter, we're closed 2 days out of the week. And we do breakfast. This is ridiculous too. So like we do breakfast twice a week, Saturday and Sunday, for 2 hours a day. So 4 hours a week
Oh,
breakfast service. And um, there's a fear of saying no, right?
yeah,
So I run a 16-item breakfast menu twice a week for four
yeah,
hours a week. Then I run a 25-item lunch menu and then a 27-item dinner menu. Um, and my argument is that we can run 5 items for breakfast, we can run 15 items for lunch and 15 items for
Yep.
dinner, and they'll be great 15 items that we can then
Mhm.
rotate, whether it be
yeah,
every 6 weeks or whatever. But the idea is that our membership is so large and we have so many members and people that they want to satisfy every single aspect of the wheel. And I was just like, yo,
yeah,
dude, you can't do that. It's impossible,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and at
You,
the
you,
same time, too, like I'm running private events and I'm running 250-person banquets and weddings and this and that. And it's
yeah,
just like, it's not. And I think it's just like that mentality, dude. Like I said, like they're afraid to put their foot down and say, "Hey, this is our vision. This is where we're going. This is what we want to do."
yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
and it's with my staff. That's my current struggle.
yeah. How many staff do you have?
I have 5 line cooks, two sous chefs.
Oh, that's not bad though.
It's not
That's not bad.
bad.
Do you have how many dishwashers do you have, or stewards?
Uh, I got 3. I need 2 more.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
three's good. That's good, bro.
three's
That's
no, three's not bad, dude. I just
three
need to.
solid.
Where as
Um,
soon as the sun comes out in Washington, dude, that pool's open 7 days a week. So right now, my
Oof.
biggest concern is trying to fill 3 shifts a day for 7 days at the pool, for the pool
yeah,
kitchen,
yeah,
because
that's
our
tough.
pool's in a
Do you
different
have?
building.
Do you outsource for the banquets, or do you just do in house?
We do in
So
house.
so you transition your cooks. You give them like extra time
Yeah,
to do the. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Um,
rough. And how many more cooks are you looking for? 3?
I just need 3 for the pool. I can deal with kitchen work as with what I have, but that
Yeah.
7 day a week on pool is what's gonna kill me.
On the
You-
pool, yeah.
Let me ask you something. How many special requests do you have? Like a lot? People asking just for
A
crazy
lot,
amounts, or do they
a
order?
lot.
Do they order straight off the menu?
No, dude, this is all special requests. I made that my F&B director didn't like. I was like, yo, we might as well I was like, yo, we might as well just be part of Burger King, because like people
Make it all you
like
want,
people.
yeah.
No, dude, it's to the point. I understand modifications. Like if you want to modify, dude, as long as you pay your bill
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I don't give a shit what you do. But to an extent, you know what I mean. It gets to the point where they take pieces of certain items on the menu and they create like
Yeah.
this dish. Um, or like once sometimes I get like a request to add avocado or jalapenos, and they're like, "Oh, this guy wants jalapenos," and I'm like, "Where the fuck do you want me to get jalapenos from?" I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you should have jalapenos in case one of our members wants it." I was like, "Dude, nothing on my menu has
Yeah.
jalapenos, so why the fuck would I bring in a case or a pound or anything like that for it to just go to waste in the back of
Yeah.
the
And,
walk-in?"
then the problem is they
Um,
don't understand that. The front of the house, they don't understand that.
no,
Yeah.
Um,
but it's funny, like you said earlier, you were talking about numbers, and I look at my sales mix every day. Actually, I did a video today on TikTok about like how I like my menu and my
yeah.
food costing. Um, and I get when the serving staff isn't trained to handle like customer feedback, right? So I had a halibut. So I had a halibut with a wild garlic risotto, and a server came by and said, "Oh, this person said that the halibut was salty, so you guys need to stop using so much salt." And my sous chef yelled across the kitchen to my saute guy and said, "Hey, less salt on the halibut." And I said, "Hold on a second. We've sold like 60 of them this week. This is the first time someone said something about salt. We can't just change what we're doing on the fly because of just one person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We gotta
The
stop what we're
feed,
doing."
the feedback to the cook needs to be a little bit more reined in. And I think what's really
Yeah,
important is it needs to filter through you or
yeah,
the sous chef on the line. And then you need to tell your sous chef how to deal with that. Because
right,
if you tell that to a cook, bro, you're guaranteed failure. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
he's going to not put salt on that halibut. But usually what I would say is like, hey, listen, the last guest said the halibut was just a little bit too salty.
right,
Feedback. And then I always tell every single cook, like, during the rush, whenever I'm expoing, I think what's really important is you need to set the standard and set the boundary that, it's not debate time during service. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
No.
I've met so many cooks, dude, that just so worked up over some bullshit. And
Oh,
it's so
yeah.
funny. And man, I don't let I remember especially when you have a steak come back on the grill station, this is like defeat, right? When you, and it's funny because I try to put things in perspective for cooks. I'm like, listen, it's fine. They're like, no, this steak is medium rare. This steak it's medium rare. Look at it, chef. Look at it. I'm like, dude, relax. Fucking simmer down, bro. You can cook a steak. Yes.
Yeah.
You know how to cook a steak. They're just asking it for it bumped up. That's it. Put it in the fucking oven and give it back to me in 2 minutes. Okay.
Right.
2
Thank
minutes.
you.
Let's go.
And then look, I tell everybody, like, and then that's all they think about the whole night. I'm like, listen, when you go to the bathroom and you take a shit and you wipe your ass, do you bring it with you? You put it in your pocket and you bring it with you? No, you flush that shit down the toilet and you move on with your life, bro. Okay. Bottom line. And it's crazy because it's true.
That's what it is, dude. Like I usually, when I'm expo and I keep a notepad on my side and I just like, I write feedback down, like the important stuff, not the shit that you filter out. And then I kind of just take that feedback and I, talk to my guys about it. And then we talk about it during pre-shift.
Mm-hmm.
I say, hey, last night, let's make some adjustments. That way, because exactly like you said, like on the line in the middle of a rush, when you got 10, 12, 15 tickets in front of you, the last thing you want to hear is some negative shit about what you're doing.
Of course.
Because you're already in the shits. Like you don't need that. So I tell my guys, I do a pre-shift, real chill, and I do my pre-shift where I have like 3 categories. I do like instruct, inspire, and thankfulness. So I tell them, hey, this is what we're gonna do. This is how many covers, blah blah. Nice job on the walk-in for cleanliness. Thank you for this, thank you for that. You guys did great last night. These are just the adjustments that we need to do at the end. You know what I mean? And I've found this fucking, like, I've had a lot of success with that because I start with positive, and then
hit it with
shit that we need to fix.
That's dope. That's like, listen, man, I'm telling you right now, the reason why I'm trying to grow my social media so vigorously is because for my next project that I'm working on, I want people to come. I want people to come work with me. You know what I mean? And I want to make a difference in their life as a cook. Like, I think the biggest thing that we're missing for chefs is, I've made so much money for other chefs and other restaurateurs, and they gave me that experience, and I'm able to put on my resume. But listen, I hate to say it, but that's just not good enough anymore. You know what I mean? I want to be able to give chefs like, here, hey, let's get this investor to invest in a restaurant that you're passionate about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll oversee it, but you be the chef. Take it. Let's go. Like, you need to be, you get a piece of the pie, because I think that's ultimately what chefs need to be more, what they need to do more of, right? Like, I remember like thinking in my head, like, why don't these big time chefs invest in their chefs for restaurants? You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. You have like the Daniel Blue that invests in, Gavin Kaysen, and Thomas Keller invested in Bennu. But if you think about how many cooks and how many chefs have went through their, their rankings, like if there was a better carrot on the end of that stick, you know what I'm saying, that was dangling, dude, I think that'd be much better. And that's what I want to build. I want to give, because I don't know about you, but the restaurant industry has been exposed. Yeah. Right. Let's be honest. It's not a secret. The hours are shitty. The weekends are long. There are no holidays. No, it is so unsustainable. And now we fucking know there is no hiding. And all these chefs that used to be assholes and that treat their staff like shit are paying the price. Right. So that's why, I think my number one recommendation for you is I would offer what you can, 1 guaranteed days off, 2 days a week, XYZ, vacation, a sign-on bonus of $1,000, or, after your first 90 days, there's things that you can, there's perks that will make a cook sign on, that once you get them in, then you can show them that you're about it, because I think that's how you're going to have to be competitive now. Like, dude, the fact that you can DoorDash in San Francisco right now and make 6 figures a year.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
Crazy.
I
For a
ordered DoorDash.
DoorDash person.
I'm not fucking joking, guys. I'm not
That's
joking.
crazy.
I had this DoorDash guy. I have pretty much like the same. Anyway, he comes over. He comes and like, and I was like, hey man, question. I just want to know how much money you make in a month. He's like, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm crushing it right now, and it's because convenience is king, man. Convenience is king. But DoorDash is better than Instacart because DoorDash, like what they're doing is they're working like a rush. So from 6 to 8 o'clock, they're fucking working like their ass off. They're driving everywhere, and they'll pocket $200 to $300. You know what I'm saying? And and it's crazy because what cook would love to work for 2 to 3 hours and then do whatever the fuck they want after their shift, and they can pick whenever they want to work.
Yeah. I'm filling out my application right now as we speak. So.
Dude, straight up. Dude. Yeah, and it's like I hate to say
this
it, but
shit.
yeah, and I wish it used to be like Uber. Uber like was big, but now it's all DoorDash and freaking Uber Eats.
But I mean, there's also the fact too, like I think for a lot of chefs who, like Casey's doing, you no longer need a 60 person like restaurant. You don't need to seat 10, 15 tables. Like right now, like if I were to open my own restaurant, I would want to do like just a chef's table with a beautiful bar top that people can sit in really nice chairs, 10 to 15 chairs, and just kitchen right behind me and someone else, and just do like a tasting menu that changes seasonally. And pair that with a wine pairing. Think about it this way, dude. Like if I do 15 tops every night at $150 a pop with a wine pairing, and I cook seasonally, keep my costs down low, you're talking about what? I'm making thousands of dollars a night, 4 nights a week. And you're doing what you love. You keep it small, and you're only working 3-4 days a week. And every now and then you do like a special brunch where you charge more and you sell bottles of wine, and you do the little things that cost you nothing, and you sell them for a lot. And that's what I would want to do if I were to open my own place.
So I think my trajectory and what I want to do is I want to open up. I want to start with the brainchild. And Casey knows, but I'll be able to release this info probably. So when are you gonna edit this, Casey? When are you gonna post this next week?
Hold on. Next Tuesday.
Okay, yeah. So not yet, but next podcast we do, I'll be able to tell it all because this girl. But it's what I'm working on is a brainchild. So we have the original, the OG restaurant, but then after that you have under the umbrella you have a bunch of different ones, right? Yeah. Because see, here's the thing: you're not going to get the return on investment from one restaurant. We all know this. You need multiple units. Yeah. And the thing is I'll be honest, guys, it's easy for me to manage a fucking 30-seat restaurant, bro. It is really easy. It's really easy for me to manage, a ramen shop, right? Like it's really easy. And I think the goal of having one, standard restaurant, your restaurant, that's your baby, but then immediately putting a chef in charge and then branching out, and then you do your tasting menu, 100%. Right? Because here's the thing, you have your revenue from the original restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, this is where us chefs, we get fucking tied up where we're just worried about the numbers and we're not worried about just doing what makes us passionate, in turn is what's going to bring us the revenue. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the biggest thing that we all need to start working on. Like, you don't need a 250 square foot restaurant, right? Like, I think having multiple units across the board is just, if you guys get a chance, look at what Scratch Kitchen's doing. And I really like this chef. And I'm thinking about like kind of mimicking his same style of service where, and this goes back to the labor thing, is where, he has just a bunch of chefs working with him. I don't know what level they're at. They don't get paid shit, but like they serve the food, they clear the table, they do everything, right? But they also get all the tips. And he has one person in front of the house. But like, I really like the idea of that because, it makes you a well-rounded chef, right? Yeah. And plus, if you have a bunch of sous chefs on the line, like your time spent, building up younger cooks is, minimal, right? That's why I have started the YouTube series of the absolute basics, like ground one. I think what these cooks are missing nowadays are like just the fucking basic. Like, you need to know like these basic things. And like, it's funny because I just filmed talking about mirepoix, like different types of mirepoix, just so somebody has a good idea. When I say, hey, can you make mirepoix, right? And they don't bring, like, how many times have you asked the cook to cut you mirepoix and it's just fucking jacked up? Like, Dude, when I want mirepoix,
How
like
about
when
a
I want to
demi?
stand, dog,
Can you make a
when I
demi real
want
quick?
mirepoix,
Oh my god.
listen, when I want mirepoix, just give me a deli cup of each, like don't I don't want to see like dude 50 25 25 like this is what we're missing. So what I'm going to do is when I'm training the staff and I'm like, hey, listen, no, go watch this YouTube video or go watch all these videos. So then my point of view and you're invested in me. And then in turn, I'm invested in you because I think ultimately that's what the biggest thing that we run into is trying to train staff while we're operating. It's hard. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's like you can agree. It's impossible for you to take 5 minutes out of the day to like train a breakfast cook on omelets. Like you just ain't got that time. Dude.
No. And then there's sometimes you have so much to do. Like for me, we do this MGI tournament. It was like 1,200 people for an entire week, and I got to do
Whoa.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner for them. And on a week like that, it's coming
Damn, I
up in
bet you that
July.
crushed you.
Crush, but it's like FMB makes 100 grand off the bat on 1 week, right?
Damn.
So on a day like that, you're absolutely right because I schedule my best staff and my best guys to work that event because the less shit that I got to explain to people and the less things that I have to do saves my from a mental perspective is just easier and it makes my job a hell of a lot easier. So I mean I feel like what you're saying, but I think the other success in that idea too is that I think we're in a place now where restaurant people want to have more of a connection that goes just beyond the food that you cook for them. Like they want to get to know the people that are back there. They want to know the people who are cooking the food for you. So when you put those people in front of them, dude, it takes your restaurant to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
People start to understand what you're making them and why you do the things you do, and they get to see how hard we're working to put this little plate in front of you.
Yeah,
And
I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. And like you can see the look in people's eyes when the chef brings out the dish, right?
The food.
And it's custom. And then when I explain things, to like it's a different connection, man. It's like, yeah, man, I'm super excited for this shit. I can't wait. I know we got to go, huh? It's been an hour. I know you probably got to work tomorrow and shit. Yeah.
Nothing too crazy,
Casey's
but
falling asleep.
I'm fine. Like, look, this shout out to Carlos. Brandon, I don't know if you've seen some of this motherfucker's video, but this dude, hold up. I'm telling you right now, this
Let's go.
dude can put on.
Nice. Yeah, man, that was good.
Now, I the reason I bring that up because
Yeah.
I just want to say, team four and less ingredients, highly executed items, 4 or less.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
I'm
You
pretty
don't
much
need
like 3.
frou-frou,
Yeah.
a whole bunch of shit,
You know what I was gonna say, Carlos, is you should start posting like family meals, like meals you cook for your family from when you were young. When you were young, the things that you learned from your grandma, that would be great, man.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like, hey, I'll be honest, there is no correlation for when I cook at work compared to what I post on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Because for TikTok, I'm not gonna lie, people don't want to see the Michelin shit, man.
I think
I'm very faulty of that. I like to do like elegant shit, and it's like, dude, those videos.
I think that's one of my mistakes too, man. Because like even like my Instagram, like sometimes like I'm very self conscious of like what I post, and I gotta keep reminding myself like, dude, these big accounts, they edit the shit out of it, they add color to it, they do filters and blah blah blah. And like when you present it like the way that I have, like I take as beautiful pictures as I can, and I put it on there, and I don't have time to get the extra green color on there and do all this and that. So I think I just gotta get out of the mentality and just post food.
Yeah.
And I also, it's funny because you something mentioned early in the beginning where like from the second that I get to work to the time that I leave, dude, I could be posting 10, 15 videos a day. Because I go from like food costing, from invoicing to meetings to like just answering emails to just like having a pre-shift, having this. I do so much on a daily basis from an 8 to 10 hour day that if I just like slow down and like think to myself that before I enter a situation, I should record this situation and then make the decision of what I want to show. Dude, I could be posting volume. And I think I just got to get myself in that mentality because you're absolutely right, dude. Like when I joined your live a couple months ago, and you talked about that, and you were like, dude, nobody knows what the fuck they're doing on TikTok. Everybody's learning as they go. And
yeah,
I was just like,
exactly.
dude, he's absolutely right.
Bro, I've been
Because
posting for almost a year and a half or a couple, and I'm still working it out. I'm still trying to optimize. And now
Yeah.
but the problem is I look into my analytics, and I'm not gonna lie, I know exactly what to post to pop. And so I break it up now. I post 80% straight entertainment where I'm loud, I'm obnoxious, I make a fucking peanut butter and jelly and tell everybody that they're making it wrong, and it goes viral. And I'm like, yeah, this is stupid. I trolled the fuck out of everybody with the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then I made one from scratch, trolling even more. Like, dog, I had nobody commented it. And so I had my wife comment it on it. So I said, I was like, look, go in there and I want you to say, hey, you're a chef and you can't even make it from scratch. And then I replied the video. If you go to that video right now, they're both viral, and well, not viral. I don't think they're viral yet, but they got over 500,000 views.
Yeah.
And because what you need to realize is you need to figure out how to drive traffic to your page. And this is how you do it. Now, that's a double-edged sword because you're going to have some followers that don't generally, want to see your content. They're just following you for that one video, which kind of sucks. But ultimately, I post 80% entertainment and then 10% of like super value chef tips and then 10% whatever the fuck I want. So that's why it's like all over the place, Anyway, we got to wrap it up.
All right. Well, in any case, again, I'll make sure to link all of Carlos's stuff underneath. Brandon, don't say any more of the new stuff. We'll wait on that one.
Yeah, straight
on the next one. However, can I just say, I knew what you were doing when you posted this video. Okay, you weren't slick. I knew it was coming. Okay.
Yeah, boy.
But very, very, very niche of you. However, Carlos, I think we should just be salty, man. I'm telling you right now, we're the only two.
You know what? Hey,
in our group.
I'm gonna start doing more reviews. I'm gonna start doing more reviews like that. I got really good feedback, but I don't know why people want to see me eat Taco Bell in my fucking car.
I mean, I know we gotta go, but like to me, the shit that I don't understand is that fucking bite shot. Like people just want to see you eat it, and like if you don't add that to your video, like people are gonna be like, "Yo, did you get mad?" You eat it, though?
Yeah,
they get mad.
Yeah, they do. They do. You're right. I was on live and I was eating on live, and I had like so many people come in and they're like, and I stopped eating because I think it's rude. And they're like, "Chef, we want to watch you eat." And I'm like, "What? Get the fuck out of here! All y'all fucking weird. All y'all fucking
gotta
weird.
Pay me for this one." All right, that's it. All right. Don't go crazy.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. Carlos, it was fun talking to you.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Again,
thank you for having me.
All the links down below. You can find Carlos's stuff, all the info on his. Carlos, can I link your Instagram too underneath? Are you cool with that?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, go for it.
Again, all info on Carlos. And then next week, obviously, same time. But other than that, though, we out.